we have cooked up some delicious ribs. So the other night you may have been on, saw me saying I was cooking up lentils and I was cooking up ribs, and we're voting which went best with our beautiful release.
And it's probably pretty obvious that ribs always win over lentils, let's be honest.
Brett, can I say, I think my lentils won. I had a ham hock in there, but anyway, we're off the topic. But we have the ribs because you voted. You thought ribs, so we've cooked ribs here tonight. And we've got this fantastic, throughout the month of June, we have this fantastic tasting experience for you at our cellar door, which includes our...
We do. So for the month of June, we thought we'd do something special and showcase our Equus Collection wines. For those of you who've been members for maybe longer than Sambo's been around, my assistant winemaker, because the club was started in 98, just before Sam was born. We had the Equus wine with the horse's head on it, and then we moved to the quite simple Equus Collection label, and then after a number of years we did a few rejigs. So what we've got is the 2017 Equus Collection Shiraz, and we've got our two most recent 2021 and 2022 Equus release wines.
So these wines aren't released every year, Brett, are they?
No, they're not, because all good things sometimes you have to wait for. So each year we put aside certain barrels of our wines for the likes of our Alessandro or our Bluegrass, and somewhere along the lines we get the opportunity to look at our parcels and go, you know what, this is something unique or something quite special, and that's where they funnel into these wines. So yeah, you're right, they don't happen every year. If they did, we'd be very lucky.
We would be very lucky.
Hey Wendy, what's in the pot?
Okay, in the pot.
Behind you.
Oh, behind me. Oops. Good call, Deborah. I've got some pasta cooking because we're going to serve up our delicious ribs with some pasta, but it's still going. It's not ready. That's all good.
Cooking away.
Cooking away.
Shall we try some wines in the
Let's
meantime?
do it. Let's do it. So we've got 3 years, so a series of 3 that we are tasting at the cellar door throughout the month of June. So this is really an opportunity to come in and just try these exquisite wines, because they're not wines you get to drink every day, are they?
Of course. So we make these wines in really small collections, so anywhere from 100 cases, 100 dozen, up to 200 dozen, or 250, I should say. So the quantity of these wines are pretty slim, and they're made up of different parcels of fruit that we have access to in the year that we feel are going to fit this mould. So if we go from the oldest wine, the Series 14 2017 Shiraz, this is actually a vineyard, or actually what's it for, quad vineyard blend. So there's fruit in here from Langhorne Creek, from the Pecador Vineyard. There's fruit in here from the Hunter Valley, both the Ryan estate, so Phil and Sylvia Ryan's old vineyard, and also the Hillside Vineyard, which is next door to that. And they're both on Marrowbone Road where the winery is. The other third region but fourth vineyard is the Westcourt Vineyard in Mudgee, that used to be owned by a gentleman called Malcolm Roth. And the claim to fame for that vineyard, other than damn good grapes, is it was home to the horse called Westcourt that won the Melbourne Cup in 1912.
That's exciting.
So that's pretty cool.
I think that's very unique. I don't think there'll be another wine in the world that would have a blend of South Australia, Mudgee, Hunter Valley.
Well, maybe not that they put it on the label. There's plenty of wines out there that are blends of all things, because that's just what it is. But whether they actually deliberately thought about it is a different story. So yes, you're right. And out there on the label, these 3 regions, those four vineyards, it's pretty unique.
Yes, very unique.
So this style of wine, obviously being a number of years old, we're now 10 years since vintage. The 2017 vintage in the Hunter Valley was very good. It was it was a hot year, but it was out the back of a wet year. So 16 in the Hunter Valley was not so flash. If you do remember, that was the first vintage that the Laureti family were involved in actually growing grapes. And
I remember now.
yeah, and Mother Nature decided otherwise, and we got hailed on.
Yes.
So that really limited the crops and basically meant we had to sort of go looking further afield in certain things. However, those vineyards that did not get hit by hail because of the dry weather, the fruit was exceedingly good. So it gave us a really good smattering of grapefruit from different regions that we could blend together into this wine. Now,
Could serve some for Wendy.
I think we need to pour some.
probably a good idea.
I haven't tried this for a while.
Oh, clunk. So,
It's a hog tonight.
And one for the behind the scenes, I think.
Yeah. Let me show everyone the label.
So, what do you think this wine smells like, Wendy?
Oh, Brett, now yeah.
Other than awesomeness.
Well, my usual word is I think it smells like it's yummy.
It smells yummy. Well, that's a good starting point. It's better than doesn't smell like yummy.
I hate, this is why I have you here. I don't like talking the wine talk.
Fair point. So, this style of wine, it's 8 years old now.
Yum.
It's starting to go into that secondary character. It's sort of savoury.
You need to hold your cleaver while I check the...
Go and check on the pastor over there. So this wine, it's 8 years old now. It's starting to go into those secondary characters, so it's a little bit more savoury, not as much fresh fruit as what you would get in the younger wines. However, we only just opened it, so we haven't decanted it. In about half an hour, that fruit-forward nature of this wine will start to
I think it's tasting
show up.
pretty awesome already.
It's pretty good. Now, do me a favour.
Yep, let me hold it.
Hold the meat tenderizer. We've got two other wines, one of which we've already opened, which is the 2022 Barossa Shiraz, but we get to that in a second. In the middle, we have the 2021. So this is the first, I guess, relaunch of the Equus wine that we did a number of years ago. And inconveniently, it's covered in wax, so it's not the easiest to open, so don't expect to get into this in a rush.
Like you said, all good things take time.
That is exactly right. So this wine, look, it's sealed under cork because this sexy bottle doesn't come in a screw cap finish.
It really is a sexy bottle.
It's got the deep.
It's got the deep punt. It's heavy.
Can someone teach me how to open a bottle of wine? Here we go.
We haven't done this for a while, have we?
Out of practice.
Can we talk about the corkscrews that we had there?
Yay! Well, you do need to. These have been designed to lay down because they're.
They have, yeah. The idea of this wine is we don't expect this wine to be opened as soon as we release it. We actually expect or hope that you put it in the cellar for 5 or 10 years. So by that stage, it'll be a little bit easier to open. But what we've got here is the 2021 Equus Shiraz. This is all from Langhorne Creek. Wow, that colour looks pretty spectacular. I'm going to steal that glass. And this wine is all from the River's End Vineyard in Langhorne Creek.
I'm putting this. Okay, I need to get rid of my turn that off. I'm just going to drain it.
And this is a really vibrant, really fruit-driven style of wine. The River's End Vineyard is something that that we've been getting grapes from since 2015, since Mark Gilbert took over that vineyard. And it's been the backbone of not just our bluegrass, but also our Alessandro wines over those years. So really powerful, juicy style of wine, quite fresh, even though it's a number of years old. And I always like to think of these wines a little bit more like Langhorne Creek, but with a bit of Coonawarra or Clare sort of character on it. So it's like it's cooler. It's just fresher, softer, really silky style of wine.
And this is the first one, well, not the first one, but this one went into our big Aretha.
Yeah, correct. So the difference in maturation or oak maturation for these wines is quite different. This wine went into smaller barrels, so 225 and 300 litre barrels. I don't even think we had any puncheons into this blend, whereas this wine went into one single 2,500 litre cask. And the idea there is the bigger the vessel, the softer the influence of the timber and the air.
You can taste the difference, can't you?
Yeah, so you just get this real silky,
yeah,
well-polished sort of character in the wine.
It is, isn't it? It's really good.
Now, the last wine we have, which I'll have to grab you another glass.
Yeah, let me,
That's all right. Here you go.
all right.
Yep. Excuse the fact that it doesn't match the other glasses, but...
That's all right.
So here we have the 2022 Equus Shiraz. Now, this wine is actually not officially released until, I guess, now, because we're letting the cat out of the bag. But this wine is all from the Barossa Valley. So, again, from South Australia, but warmer climate than what you would see in Langhorne Creek, further up from Adelaide. And this fruit was all from the Ballpark Vineyard. And this is quite a big, powerful, rich style of wine. It's everything that most people would come to think of Australian Shiraz. It's big and bright. It's quite chunky style of wine. You sort of need a knife and fork to get through it, to be honest.
But this, it's bold, isn't it? Like it's
It
big,
is.
and I think it will go very well with the big ribs that we've got over here.
Well, that's quite convenient. Shall we see what's in the pot?
Let's go. Let's do it, Will, shall we?
The colour, how dense the colour is.
Okay. So we've got our ribs in here. So the other night I cooked ribs. Basic onions, carrot, celery, lots of garlic. We caramelised the ribs before we started. Then I added red wine. I didn't add my Equus red wine because
You were drinking it.
actually I didn't even have a bottle because it's so rare, Deb. I didn't even have a bottle to show in the video. But
There's a spoon there, Brett.
I say we always add, my golden rule when I add wine is that I make sure it's a wine I like to actually consume.
It's a very good point. Look, when it comes to cooking, it is important. You maybe don't have to go all the way to
You're not going to be. I wouldn't be
Equus or
pouring,
something like that.
I wouldn't be pouring my beautiful Collector's Collection Equus wines in there, but I would be pouring maybe one of our clean skin.
Oh, yeah.
That would be, yeah. That's something that I would be looking
It's
at.
important to make sure that the red wine that you do use, don't use oxidised 1 week old wine. Make
Yeah.
sure it's fresh.
Can I just say I love Nana to death, but
It looks so good, Wendy.
a lot of people make a mistake. They think they open a bottle of wine, put it in their pantry,
Correct.
and then I'll use that for cooking wine, but it's cooking vinegar. It's not cooking wine anymore.
Yes, because the wine
and
is
it
oxidised.
really impacts the flavour of what you're doing. So my golden rule is, guys, always...
If you wouldn't drink it, don't cook with it.
Yeah, because you want the flavours that you like. So anyway, I caramelised the meat. I cooked up my onions, carrots, celery, put them together, poured some red wine in, poured my bouquet of sage leaves, whatever I was growing outside. I had sage leaves, rosemary, and some thyme. Popped that in, and then a bit of stock just to fill it up. I don't cover the meat because I want to keep it nice and crusty on the outside. So I go three quarters. I go 3/4 up, and
Hot
Did you
tip,
cook
that
that
one.
in the oven, Wendy, or in the other night? Did you cook yours in the oven the other night?
Deb, can I say I've got a beautiful Bessemer pot that I do on top, and I do it on my stove top.
Yeah, right.
But you can put it in the oven, easy. But my stovetop, and I've got a beautiful new kitchen, and my stovetop is not gas anymore. It's one of those,
Induction.
yes. So then I could just
Fancy pants.
leave it
Oh,
on,
man.
like 2,
Yeah.
and away it went.
Because
So,
you know,
it was
I use those
amazing.
Cast iron pots from Aldi, and I love how thick and juicy the flavour gets with the sauce.
Yeah.
And they're on special at the moment too. by the way. Just saying. I saw them the other day, and I'm like, I've already got 5. I don't need any more.
Okay, so
But
can
that I took out at 4 o'clock and chucked in the pot.
this is not what I cooked the other night. I consumed that last night. And I'm really, really sorry that I didn't share. But my beautiful granddaughter was there, and I got sidetracked, and I said to Deb, "Oh my God, I forgot to video
I'm just
what we
gonna
cooked."
try and
But-
get the camera in here.
But Deb, if you come in from work, get your pressure cooker out, chuck these in. What did you say? 4 o'clock?
Yeah,
It's a bit more runnier, the sauce.
It is more runnier, which is why I use that curly pasta.
And curly pasta, if it's curly, it's like your.
But can I just show the
Yeah.
guys on Facebook your plate, just so I can show them?
Do you want me to style it up a bit? And can I also say, my intention with my ribs the other day was to actually, when I got home, I was going to cook up a bit of pancetta, a bit of butter mushrooms.
Yeah.
because we typically do shared plates, so I don't plate up food like this at home. I we have it in the middle of the table, so I did polenta underneath, and then my intention was to take a photo of it to share it with you.
Was to eat it
was to
because
have
it tasted good.
pancetta and mushrooms, and then sprinkle that on top with some parsley. But I missed that step, and it didn't really matter.
And
We all enjoyed it. It was delicious.
And I probably
with the
do a
lentils.
remoulade on that too, because it's a running sauce. But like, you can do whatever you like.
You do whatever you want. That's right. You just enjoy your food, enjoy your time with your family and friends, and drink good wine.
Good. Correct.
So
Simple as that, guys.
The pairing.
Now, which one's the 22?
Correct.
This one?
Yep.
Okay, so let's. This is a new release, and it's not often. Look. Personally, anyway, they're all good. This is drinking surprisingly well for a young wine.
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big. It's great.
Needs a.
I think this is amazing. The 20.
If you want to enjoy
the 21.
The 22 wine now, make sure you put in a decanter for maybe an hour or two.
Yeah,
It
okay.
needs plenty of air.
Needs some air.
The 21 is pretty sexy, but it's definitely going to evolve after a bit of time in the glass. The 17, drinking really well now.
That's
if you want
beautiful.
to decant it, just in the decanter and then
20
straight
minutes,
into the...
half an hour?
Yeah, heaps of time.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to try
With the
ribs
food?
With the food, and tell me which wine pairs best with the ribs, Brett?
Ooh, good question. Now I have to put my...
Yeah, let me hold
Put the
this.
meat down.
The,
meat cleaver.
Got your fork?
Your meat mics.
Do you want more sauce in
People
there,
jumping
love?
on wanting to know what you cooking, Wendy, because they can't see your plates from behind there.
Oh, love, here you go.
So
So curly pasta, because we cooked the ribs tonight in the pressure cooker, so it's a little bit runnier.
yeah.
But it's just beef ribs, honey.
Maybe if
Red
I go
wine,
away so
tomatoes.
people can see.
Oh, sorry, there we go. So it's seriously beef ribs, which we put on at 4 o'clock in the pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Some tomato, red wine, and some onion tomatoes. What else we got in there, Deb? But yeah, and with some curly pasta or penne, polenta, whatever you got there. Whatever's quick and easy, especially, I mean, look at that for a midweek meal.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I guess the thing about the ribs is that it's a bit fattier, so it goes well with those big reds, right, Brett? At the end of the day, we want a bit of, like with that tannin that's in those wines, we want a little bit
It's hard
of
to
that
eat
in
one-handed.
the richness in the meat.
Correct. So the bigger the wine, the bigger the dish. Very simplistic way to draw the two. The tomatoes in the sauce, because they have that slight sweetness, you need a little bit of youth, but there's too much tannin and drive in the 22. This wine with this dish, that wine overtakes it. So my pick is the middle wine, the 21.
Yeah.
Because the youthfulness of this wine works well with the slight sweetness of the tomatoes. But you're right, there's the fat and the richness of the meat which needs some tannin and structure. It's maybe not savoury enough because of that sweetness to go with the older wine. So my pick would be the middle.
The middle.
But of course you could start with this and then you have 2 other wines to make disappear over the rest of the evening.
They're all delicious. Well done, Brett. They're amazing wines. Good on you, love.
Cheers.
As I say, amazing. And of course, if you want to taste these wines, like I said, there'll be a link to book a tasting at Celador. That's only for the month of June. So if you book a specific tasting for the Equus, come in and enjoy them and get to familiarise yourself with these. But of course, we're at Percy's in Piermont next Thursday. What date is it? 19? Thursday the 19th. Not the 18th, but the 19th. So come along to that. Again, we'll put a little link below. Tapas and tasting. Really casual vibe. It's not a sit-down gig. It's mingle and tapas and just enjoy. Just a drink with a friend, essentially. So please come along to that. We will definitely be we'll be tasting our Equus. The other wines are secret at this stage because we're still just working out what
to be confirmed.
To be confirmed.
But, so that's venue number 1, and then on the weekend
Will be good food and pair. Good
food and wine day.
Good.
You said pear, I said both. Good food and wine show. That's funny. Free marketing for those guys if you work that out.
Yeah.
Good Food and Wine Show.
The
So
Good
we're
Food
there,
Wine Show,
and
Convention Centre.
what stand are we on?
Stall N11.
We are the stand
N11.
Sandals Creek. Look for our number.
N11. So see us there as well. So it's a big weekend next week, starting Thursday and continuing all through to Sunday. And of course, we're going to be emailing you a secret squirrel word, because we will have our Equus wines at the trade show, but you need to say the secret squirrel word to get access to them, because they're not going to be on general tasting.
Or you have to wink and then we might work it out.
Okay, so we've just got a few comments coming in. Michael Brown has said, how good is this little cooking / tasting class? He's impressed. And also
Michael's
Penelope,
easy impressed.
said, I rather miss COVID and these wonderful events. Michael also said, do we need to book online for the Piedmont venue?
Yes,
Yes.
love.
Yes,
Yes, definitely.
So
They're selling out
Percy-
fast, so jump on if you want to go there, because it is a limited space. It is more intimate. I think we're looking at only, 40
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So Percy Thursday night, definitely you have to book. If you
And
turn up and you don't have tickets, unfortunately.
the
there's
Good
chances
Pair
are-
Day or the Good Whatever
Good Food
Day.
and Wine Show.
The Good Food and Wine
Good
Show.
Food and Wine Show, you also need tickets. Those style of events, you can buy tickets at the door, but if
It's
it is
best
too
to
busy,
buy them online.
make sure you've got them beforehand. So
We
you
can chuck
leave.
the link in there for that as well. So we'll do that as well.
Now, so if people want to do the Equus tasting, is this only for members? The Equus tasting at Cellar Door?
You have to be a member to purchase it, but no, you don't have to be a member to taste it, because how are we going to convince you to be a member unless you taste it?
Good point.
So I
just
want you,
this month
because
only.
I tell you, if you came in and said, I want to try that Equus, you'll be signing up,
Okay.
because you have to be a member to be able to purchase this wine. And you'll taste it and it'll be a no-brainer. So yes, no, the tasting is not exclusive.
Mhm.
The
the wine
wines
is.
are exclusive.
Okay, so when you book a premium tasting, you'll go to check out and you can add on the Equus
You can add on.
tasting.
There's actually a
As you check
clear Equus tasting there as well, so you can just pick that up.
And then
Any
there's-
problems? Just call us. We'll sort it out for you. Don't let anything get in your way of tasting these wines. So
Yeah.
come and see us and
We've got
enjoy.
lots of people asking, so if they're not a Club Equus member, they can join up and get access to these wines and a complimentary tasting this month, Wendy.
Of course.
And if they join this month, what else are you going to show?
Well, we're putting out. I haven't spoken to Amelia about this yet. It's going to be a surprise. Hi, Amelia. But we have a beautiful cooler bag that is a Settlers Creek cooler bag. So all sign-ups will be receiving a beautiful cooler bag as well.
If you join Club Equus this month, you'll get
And
the
no, it's really,
tastings.
I styled it, so
It's great.
let me say, it looks all right. Bit of self-bum.
All right, so just to recap, we've tried 3 wines.
17 Equus, 21 Equus, 22 Equus.
And they're all got their unique flavour, which was really interesting. So that was
And
really
they're
good.
all
I
from the
enjoyed
same
that.
vineyard.
They're all Shiraz,
They've
but
all
they're
got their
all
own-
different.
They've all got their own story.
The most important thing is they're all good. And
They're-
if you don't like them,
They're more than
we'll drink
good.
it.
They're exceptional.
They're awesome.
They're exceptional. Guaranteed, 100%. Come and try them.
Correct.
Brett, thank you for joining me.
Pleasure. Thanks, Wendy.
Thanks, Deb, for letting us use your kitchen.
As always.
We'll see you soon. Cheers.
Ciao.